Doctor, thanks so much for coming. My name is Miles, and this is ER-mer-gerd, a cooperative card game where we're going to be working together to save patients that are in the ER. So roll up your sleeves and wash your hands, and let's get started. Here we have a game set up for 3 players, so go ahead and grab a seat and grab a set of cards, and I'll show you the ropes. Along the top right here is the patient track. Patients are going to be advancing down the course of this path based off the number on the bottom every single turn. And if a patient advances to the very end and falls off the end, then they die. If 3 patients advance off the end and die, we lose all the funding for our hospital. Let's take a quick peek at some of these patient cards right here. They're all dealt out what's called symptom side up, which just shows what symptom and how fast they're advancing along the track. But if you flip them over, now you can cure them because you know what's wrong with them. This guy suddenly developed gills, and it will take a lungs and 2 syringes to cure them, and it still advances at a pace of 1. This guy right here made out with a Grim Reaper. That was probably a bad move. And this guy juggled chainsaws unsuccessfully. Finally, let's take a look at these cards that we have in front of us right here. This is what we're going to be using during the game in order to play and in order to beat the game. Each of these cards has 3 different qualities to it. It has a symbol, which you use to cure patients. It has a number, which indicates the power of taking actions besides curing patients. And it has a star right here. If you spend stars to cure patients, then you get to recruit interns to come and work at the hospital. And interns are basically bonus actions. I almost forgot. You get to pick one of these 2 different special abilities to have during the course of the game. So which one will you choose? Will you be the gastro specialist that gets a discount on all gastro-related injuries? Or will you be the adrenaline junkie that can discard cards in order to take extra action? Let's jump into it, and I'll show you how to play. Each turn you're going to get 2 different actions, and you'll have a couple of different things that you can do with these cards right here. The first option that you can do is you can discard cards in order to draw more cards. This is called fundraising. So for example, if I discard this card, I'd get to draw 4 cards. If I discarded this one, I'd get to draw 2. But if I discarded both, I'd get 6 cards. I could also upgrade my hospital. Upgrading hospital is where I spend equal to or greater than the symbol right here in order to flip this card. Now, every single time that I cure a patient in this place, I'll get to draw an extra card. Additionally, I can collaborate, and collaborating means that I can get to give or receive any number of cards with another player. I can also triage a patient, which basically means that I spend equal to or greater than the amount that's printed right here in order to flip them over. And finally, once I flip them over, I can spend the symbols that you see here in order to cure them, and thus get closer to winning the game. As an additional layer of strategy, it may actually behoove you to wait until patients get to a certain point along the track. As you can see right here, multiple patients are on the same spot and both need triage, so I could spend a single card of a value of 4 in order to triage both of them. At the same time, I could also go in, and if I had 7 cards that all matched up with these symbols right here, I could take 1 action to cure both of these patients as well. Here we are in the middle of a game of ER-mer-gerd, and things are really starting to heat up right now. As you can see, this guy that's short of breath is close to the end, and he's going to die very soon. But we could spend our energy and try to cure both of these patients at once. Or we could focus our energy on these people since they're still at the beginning of the queue and save a card by doing so. Or we could collaborate with other players and try to get the cards that we need in order to cure as many patients as possible. Alternatively, we could chuck a bunch of cards in order to draw new ones. Congratulations, we've made it all the way to the end of the game, and not that many people have died. But we're going to have to face one more additional challenge before we can win the game. At the end of the game, there's going to be a number of VIP cards. Now, these VIP cards are going to be hard because they're going to be advancing very, very quickly. We don't know what's wrong with them, and they're going to require additional symbols to treat. However, if we cure all the VIPs, then we win. Thanks so much for watching this overview video of ER-mer-gerd. Now, if you'll excuse me, somebody just came in who snorkeled in a vat of ranch dressing. I better go take a look at their lungs.